Howdy y'all, I'm in Wright City, Kansas. I'm delivering across the street. I've sat down here in the grass before more than once. It's comfortable. A lot of birds singing and stuff. Somebody asked me why I don't really talk about the name of the company I work for and all that. I don't really have anything to sell. I think Maverick will pay, I think, $2,000 for everybody that you get signed on. And I kind of figure, you know what, if you see what I'm doing and you like it and you sign on and you drop my name and I get some coin on the other side, that's good. But I'm not going to try to talk anybody into anything, and I have nothing to sell you. No hats, no t-shirts, no keychains. Started this basically so my family can see what's going on the road, and the good and the bad and the ugly. I'm going to drop this load here in Wright City, and then I'm rolling over to Spring Hill, Kansas, and from there 1,850 some odd miles to New Brunswick. Bestford. It's east of Vermont, so I mean it's about as far east as I can go before I hit water, lots of water. That delivers Monday at 8 a.m. This is kind of a weird load. I've never dropped at 11 o'clock at night, but it really throws a curve in everything you're doing. I would rather get here 8 p.m. and do an 8 a.m. or 4 p.m. and do a 4 a.m. offload. Do my 10 at the where I'm doing the offload. This one's just kind of screwy because I think it's going to take me 4 to 5 hours after I drop to get to Spring Hill, Kansas. So that's going to eat a big chunk out of my day. So I don't know what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to go ahead and get unloaded here, go to Spring Hill, Kansas, get under the trailer, do my paperwork. But then I have to roll down. There's a 7-Eleven there with a cat scale. I have to scale my load, then I have to go inside, fax all my paperwork to customs. So that just all eats up time. I would need about 13 hours. I could make it back up to Portage. Don't see that happening. Sorry about the video the other day. I don't know what's up with this equipment, other than the fact that I'm not a videographer by any stretch. I clipped that video 3 times and it still played that second section twice, so I apologize for that, but we'll work on them in the future. I still got the same DG trailer, same load of glass that I left out of Carlton, Michigan with. We'll get it off here later. They usually get me off early, but it doesn't matter because I don't get I won't get my drive time back till 12:30. So if they don't get me until 11:30, it doesn't matter. I can't roll out till 12:30 tonight, and it's I don't know, I got about 6 hours to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. But that's all I got for now, and we'll talk to you in a bit. Hello y'all, family and friends. I'm in Pisgah, Illinois. I had like 20 minutes, bunch of zeros now, but I had 20 minutes on my clock. I went ahead and fueled up, even though I didn't really need any. I think I put 50 gallons in or something, but I needed DEF, so I went ahead and fueled up. Tired. I got over there to Wright City, and I got there early enough I could do a 10-hour break. But the problem was, it was like, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and I think I slept 2 or 3 hours, and then I drove over to Spring Hill, Kansas with about 5 hours. I couldn't have drove another half an hour. I was dozing off, and so I went to Spring Hill, dropped the trailer, and I backed up underneath the trailer I was supposed to deliver, and I laid down for 3 hours. Wasn't a big deal. Couldn't get real far anyhow because I had already burnt half my clock coming from Wright City. I pulled into bay at 11 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock they hadn't even touched the glass. Just crap you run into. And I grabbed the paperwork, and we have to scale at a 7-Eleven over there. And I run through this, but we can't buy fuel. Can't buy fuel there, but we have to scale at the closest scale house. That's what they want, and I understand that. If you're overweight, you ain't got as far to go back to the starting point. Have them either take off glass or move glass, forward or back, depending on which axle's overweight. So I got the scale. I scaled there at Olathe, Kansas. I don't know, it's 12 miles from where I picked up at. And I looked at the rear axle weight on the tractor, and I'm like, man, that's real close, and I'm only on a half a tank of fuel. So I roll on up to the Pilot, which is, I don't know, probably an hour away, and fill up the tanks, back away from the pump, and I go to roll on the pumps, and there's a TMC truck. He decided to scale his truck and then go get Taco Bell. So I sat and waited behind him. He finally gets off the scale. I go up and scale, and I am, I threw the scale ticket away. I'm 34, 120, 180 over on the rear axle, so I'm overweight. So I back off the scale, drop the fifth wheel on the trailer, and then I dump the airbags. And I've got those neat toys in here. The one on the right lowers the suspension, and the one on the left allows me to unlock the fifth wheel. So I dumped the suspension, unlocked the fifth wheel, and I slid the fifth wheel all the way forward. And that puts more weight off of the rears onto the front. So now I'm good on all my axles. It will not change rear axle weight. If you're over on rear axle weight, there's nothing you can do to it. These box trucks, you know, their rear axles will slide. Both sets will slide. So they can actually, if they're weighted in the rear, they can actually transfer weight to the rear axle off the front. We can't. We have a fixed axle. If you're overweight in the back, you're just overweight. You're going to have to go get it fixed. But, yeah, I went in there where I scaled this morning to fax my paperwork. The fax machine's down. I'm like, yeah, there's $60 anywhere and everywhere for a fax machine. But so I went up to the Pilot, gave my paperwork, let him fax it, told him I needed to scale my truck, went out and did my scale, my fifth wheel move, come back in, and it's like Walmart. You know, you got 4 registers, you got 2 clerks, people are all lined up, and all I needed was my paperwork. It's just crap like that. When I picked up the trailer, it had no rope on it, so the way this pickup place is, if you have a double drop, you can only come in and out one entrance, or you'll bottom out. So I just walked all the way around to the other end of the building, and we have a trailer there with supplies, and I cut me off a bunch of rope. So I put rope on both sides. I know you guys have seen bungees, but this is how you rope one. It's roped low, but it's actually rode very good. Rope doesn't stretch like a bungee cord. The tarp was put on a little off center, a little to the driver's side, so the D-rings are kind of hanging off the side, but it's still sufficient, and it's actually rode real nice. The tarp's hardly even moving, so rope tying it low is not that big a deal. But yeah, we're going to roll into Canada tomorrow. I have to be in New Brunswick Sunday at 8 o'clock at night. That way I can do a 10-hour break, unload, and roll back out there, and I'll have a full clock. So as it stands right now, I got 10 hours each day to drive. I used up everything I had today. I wanted to drive more hours today, but you know, scaling it, being overweight, having to put rope on the trailer, go to the place where I want to fax, I can't. Because if I could have faxed, got my fuel, and scaled in one point, it would have saved me 3 hours. You know, I didn't realize it was that much until I looked. Well, I don't know, about 3 hours. I'd only driven 100 miles in 3 hours. So, you know, this fuel thing sucks sometimes, and this is one of the times it sucks. You know, I can't get fuel there. I have to scale there. Well, how about we make it convenient where you can scale, get fuel, then if you're overweight, you go back to the plant and have them move glass. I normally am full before I hit the plant, but I hit the pilot on the way there, but I burned enough fuel. I burned off half tank fuel. So we got her fixed. We're all right. So we'll see in a bit.